Hello, everybody, and welcome to Aquarian Radio. And I'm your host, Janet Lessin, with Adrian Espinoza and Sean Fowler. And I'm getting everybody online here. Hopefully they're showing up. Let me tell you a little bit about our panel here. So Sean Fowler awoke to very strange things and events, and these things changed his thinking and outlook on worldly views. He's been deep down the rabbit hole many times. If he can't, having memories.
Oh, there you go.
It started. Yep, we're on air. I think I've got us all. Just doing a little intro here. So we have Sean Fowler and Adrian Espinoza. Anyway, I'm going to introduce themselves. I was kind of stalling here while I get them online. So let's start with Sean. Sean spoke up first. Are you there, Sean?
Yes, that's correct.
Adrian, are you there?
Can you hear me?
I can hear. Is that Sean? Is that you, Sean?
Yeah, this is Sean. Yeah, this is Sean. Because when you called in
Adrian,
the first time, I guess we're having a problem.
Yeah, and I think I have Adrian here. Adrian, are you here? If you can't, let's see. I'm not getting Adrian live. Go ahead and talk, Sean. I'm going to hang up Adrian and call him back. And you keep talking. You tell everybody a little bit about yourself, who you are, and I will go get Adrian. Okay, so go ahead, Adrian. Go ahead, Sean. Introduce yourself first. Okay.
My name is Sean Fowler. I was born in Clearwater, Florida. Largo. It was Largo. I don't remember anything from birth, but I do remember this is where, like, my part of my experience of now awakening to the, reality of what actually really happened to me. It's funny because I'm a little traumatized right now because before I was just on the phone with, my mother, and my mother is telling me, oh, you were diagnosed at 3 years old, ADHD, right? And I know, hello?
Yes, I'm just bringing on Adrian, but go ahead, keep talking.
Yeah, no, I'm a little triggered.
You are finished recording. You may hang up or press pound for more options.
Adrian's not picking up. Okay. But I have you, Sean. Go ahead, Sean. I'll text Adrian while you're talking. So your mother said you were diagnosed
at 3 years old, which that there's no way possible you can, diagnose a 3-year-old child ADHD, and it's one of the most misdiagnosed methods. In medical terms, it's whatnot. It is one of the most misdiagnosed, and I feel that they use that. That's like giving a kid a Red Bull, putting them on Ritalin.
Well, what were your symptoms? This is a good technique to go interview your parents and discuss your early years, because what we find in psychology is your early years. Well, whoever the people that were around back then.
My father used to take my meds from me all the time and tell me I do not need them. I am more intelligent than that. And, I am starting to believe that my father was trying to do a lot, but couldn't handle it, and then ended up getting killed in front of me when I was, a little bit older.
So what happened there? Let me go back. First of all, today you said you're talking. Now, this is your birth mother or your biological?
My birth mother. Not my birth mother. No.
No, you're the mother who raised you.
Yes.
You were talking to her today. Okay, so she has a lot of your early childhood stories. What we're finding in psychology is that our early years are really affect us on a deep core level. This is where we're forming, we're growing, we're evolving. And under age 8 are critical years, and they They help form us who we are. We take everything in. We take it consciously and subconsciously, and they affect us. And so when you do, like, psychotherapy or healing, it's good to go back and reconstruct those things. And if you have any adults or people that were alive at the same time, like my sister and I, she's 5 years older, but we'll go back and we'll look at these things that have happened in our lives, and, you know, looking at it through your current eyes, your current perspective, you get more details of the story and how things affected you psychologically, physiologically, spiritually. So you're talking to your mother who raised you.
Right.
And
yes.
She's telling you that you were diagnosed when you were 3. Okay, continue your story. What was going on?
And then she says the other day, she said, though, and this is what I'm trying to explain to her about mind control. The other day, she told me, yeah, I remember, yeah, you were put on Ritalin at 3 years old, but now she's telling me I wasn't. So there's a lot of, like, mass manipulation going on right now with a lot of things, it seems, on my side of the fence. But I want to say this out loud on public air. I apologize to any of those victims back in 2014 that was going through traumatizing times. If I threatened you or I did anything wrong towards you, I'm just, you know, I'm apologizing. You know, I hope you can forgive me. If you can't, I understand. But please, you know, let's try to be friendly with one another. That's what we need to do. We need to be friendly with one another. And, you know, stop bashing one another. And critically right now, there's a lot of hacking going on the web. And a lot of people are dealing with not the only issue that I'm dealing with, but others are dealing with similar issues. Having videos made on them, you know, to try to, you know, make fun of them. In my own opinion, as me being a strong person and knowing the reality of what I live, and just the feeling of it is like that type of person usually needs to clean their backyard before they try to clean someone else's backyard when they're throwing bullets still. And it was 2014 when this happened. And,
well, everybody
you know,
gets triggered by this. Let me explain a little bit. I think we might have Adrian here. Hold on.
Good. He wants to,
Everybody, you know, this super soldier syndrome, and this also involves the experiencers, contactees, abductees, you know, everybody that's dealing with the non-ordinary paranormal states and the secret space program and all that stuff. These are very traumatizing and triggering events. And often, you know, we're trying to piece together things. We get a lot of mind control, mind wipes, all kinds of things that go on. And that's why we're coming on to try to clear some of this up. Let me see if this is Adrian. Hold on, please. 1 second while I click the button.
I hope it is.
Adrian, do we have you with us? Adrian, are you with us? Aloha,
Adrian.
Boy. I've got the right number. I don't know. Maybe I have the wrong number. There's somebody with us. Are you muted? I've got you in the queue here. Area code 801. Can you? We cannot hear you. Do you want to call us back? We will hang up and call us at 646-649-0893. And text me, Adrian. And let me know what's going on.
I don't think that is Adrian. Hold on a second. That might not be Adrian's number. Hold on a second.
No, that's the number for the show. 646-649-0893.
No, the 888.
No, it's not 888.
The 80.
Area code 801. Is that Adrian's number? Anyway, somebody's listening. Hi, whoever you are. I put you on your live.
Let me see.
Okay, you look for that. I'm going to go ahead and mute them again.
It's not 843. It's not 843? Okay.
No, I said 801. 801. Is it area code 801?
Adrian Skynet. Ready? I'm going to give you his number right now.
Well, I don't think you can say
801 is,
Yeah.
801 area code. Yep.
Okay. Well, I don't know what's going on. Adrian, I'm going to mute you. Hang up and call back in. Call into the show at 646-649-0893. And anybody listening and you want to call in, we can also click on the website. I sent out the link on Blog Talk Radio, /Aquarian Radio, for those who want to listen. I did promote it through social media before the show. All right. Well, hopefully, Adrian, if you get on, text me on my phone, and I can see that you're trying to get on the show. Whoops. Okay. We're going to go back to Sean's story. So I'm going to put you on mute so you don't make any background noise. Back to the Adrian or Sean Fowler interview, and Adrian will come on later, hopefully. Okay. So Sean, you're talking to your mother. Now you have a riddle. You don't know if they did put you on. What did they put you on? Ritalin. What else did they put you on?
I don't remember any other. I don't. Okay. Well, what it did to me was it completely zombied me out. So, kind of like, that I would daydream in class almost. Okay, and now looking back at this is so weird how these downloads just come through. Is these daydreams would be these daydreams of me going on missions and then all of a sudden I'd wake up out of it. Like it was almost like it was weird. It was I used to not like to, sleep in my own room. I was very afraid of the dark. A bunch of things took place with this. But the medication, honestly, I do not need. I'm a lot more intelligent than that. I'm seeing as I'm learning how to research things myself. I'm learning things like, okay, it says that it takes all the way up to like 26 years old for the brain to, mature almost all the way, right? 26.
Mm-hmm.
To fully develop, okay? So I don't even care if you put a kid on Ritalin at 5 years old. They don't belong on Ritalin. They don't belong on a speed, okay? That's like giving, like I said before, a 3-year-old a freaking Red Bull or a 5-year-old a Red Bull. And it's misdiagnosed. ADHD to me is just a bunch of letters mixed up and made out to be a label. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Let's labelize this population. Let's dumb down this population. Let's medicate the hell out of them. Let's make them forget the missions that they partook in. Let's let them forget when they went on missions and hurt other people. That we now sometimes come into reality with. Like in the real physical, sense of
it. So let's go back in time. So you're deconstructing this with your mother. You find out, what else did your mother reveal to you today in your conversation? Anything else?
That she said I never said you were I never said you weren't intelligent. And we just they used it when they needed to, and when it needed to be used, just when it needed to be used. So I find that funny. So you're taking me off and on this medication, right? Even the school district, because we all know that the principal behind the desk is playing with himself. A lot of us kids that are in the school trying to, figure out which type of, young girl or young boy he could bait in and do have fun with in the office.
Well, wait, we're getting ahead of ourselves, okay? Because all of a sudden you're introducing this. So we've got you it's at 3 years of age, and you're being put on.
I can't tell you anything past 3 years. I have not had a regression yet, so I cannot tell you anything past 3 years old. I will give you that right now.
Next memory you have? That's fine. We're just that's fine. And then
those are the memories I was just it does because I don't trust regressions just yet. I got to find the right person, and that's by the help of maybe you or Adrian or somebody that I can trust.
So let's just go to your next memory you remember. See, I had a client once, and she said, I don't remember anything before age 18. This happens all the time. And there's trauma.
This is when 2014 is when I had my first ET memory of ETs.
Okay, but let's just go along your life. So you have no memories of anything prior to age what? When do you have your first memories of your life before you were an adult? What year? What age?
No, it was 2014 when I started getting the floods of this.
No, I'm talking about this memory at all. Cause are you saying that you were completely unconscious and you didn't know who you were until 2014? You had a history before that. I'm not talking about your ET experiences or your super soldier. I'm just talking about life. What memories do you recall?
From rape.
Your childhood?
Okay, rape.
Okay, so let's go to the when. Let's break that down.
Okay, all right.
This is what happened.
I was 14 years old. Okay.
14 years
and I had a birthday party, and I never told my mother this, because this had happened, a few times after with other individuals too, that I was going to school with, that groomed me, and told me they'd buy me things and and just be my friend and come over, and next thing you know, I'm getting raped from behind, in a deep spot where it hurts, and where once that connection happens, the mind splits. Pow!
Right.
It just fractures it even more. So I went into it was happening often, and the one kid is dead now.
Yeah.
There's one of them that is dead.
Let's lead up to that. Let's go back a little bit in time. Okay, so you're 14. I'm not talking about negative or positive. Do you remember any birthday parties, any interaction with your parents, any interaction?
Oh, nothing. No interaction with the parents. No.
But you remember going to school. I
remember going to school. I remember they had a classroom where we had a music room. Okay, I went to a school by the name of East Quogue Elementary School. Okay.
Where was that? What part of the world was that?
That's New York, East Quogue, Long Island, New York.
Long Island. And how old were you?
Yeah, right in their backyard.
What's the first?
This is like grade school. This is grade school.
First grade, second grade, third grade.
I remember all the way up through. I used to hate going to school. I would want to skip school because I knew what was going to happen to me.
Right.
I knew what was going to happen to me. I knew that I was going to get sexually abused or, something was going to happen.
So before the sexual abuse, let's go to the first incident. So you're going to school, and it's like a normal school. It looks like a normal school.
Yes, and I was always in special educational classes.
Okay, so you're in special ed classes in a normal school. When did this start? What happened? What was the incident?
What do you mean the incident? I'm trying to tell you.
Well,
I'm trying to give you the incident. What do you mean the incident? I gave it to you. Getting raped. That's the incident.
The first time. So you're having a normal class, and you're with your normal students.
Yeah, I don't remember this because they raped. No, they would
Did
take
they take
select
you individually?
few.
Okay, they took
at
a select
times
few.
individually. At times individually. I remember being marched down to the principal's office with, 3 other guys, and each one of us had to go in at a different time after one would come out.
Okay.
And
what would happen when you went in?
Sometimes it would be it just like rape type stuff, like they'll, play with you, or they'll, they'll do whatever they want. The school districts are tied in with the governments and all the other high ups as well.
So the same thing that's happening to the kids that are, dealing with the priests are happening in a public school with the principal. Is this the principal or some lower person?
Oh, they could be principals, teachers, gym teachers. You hear about this all the time now on, in the media. And I post all of it. I post anytime I see a sexual ad on like a teacher, especially. I have a daughter myself now. I was blessed with a daughter. And when I look in her eyes, me personally, I'm afraid of the same thing because of maybe my abilities that were stored inside of me, and my daughter, her name, Sophia, has meaning, and it's like, it's not a coincidence. It's not. But at the same time,
let's put a bookmark right there. Let's put a bookmark right there because I think we have Adrian. Adrian Espinoza, are you with us?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Adrian.
Yes, we can hear you.
Where did you go, man? Did you
Sorry,
go off?
I was having phone trouble.
No, man. I heard about the video.
Oh, good.
You told me about it.
Let's bring in Adrian, and then we'll go back and forth. Okay, so Adrian, welcome to the show. This is our Skynet Part 2. We did Skynet Part 1 last week, and we're going to be taking back Sean, and someday you're going to take me and go through my story, because we're all super soldiers, experiencers, contacting, and there's a lot of noise, background noise. What's going on with you, Adrian? Are you in the wind? Is somebody in the wind?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a lot of background noise. I wonder what's going on.
There was a lot of there's a lot of fans in the background, so you probably heard that, but I just turned those off. Can you hear me clear now?
Okay. Now I can hear you, yes. And I'm going to turn off my fan, too, just in case it picks it up. And everybody, that's making it sound like a horror show. I don't know what all the noise is.
Welcome to the horror pictures, right?
Yeah, that's horror.
Oh, man.
Okay. So, Adrian, hi. What's going on? Who are you? Hi. What makes you come to the show? What are we doing here? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I wanted to work on Sean today for the second show of the Skynet show, and I just wanted to talk about some of Sean's experiences on how we helped him from the last time, and I want to go over some recalls with Sean. So today I'm just going to give a demonstration on how we do that.
Sounds good. And I'm still try to clear up the sound a little bit. Are you wearing a headset? How are you? Because there's an awful lot of noise. And we weren't getting it before you came on.
Give me a moment to find my other headset.
Yeah, I think you have a faulty
so you can hear me good.
Okay, yeah, that one's suspected. They go bad too, and it's really shocking. It's like all of a sudden you have a headset and it's your favorite headset and it's not working. Okay, so he's gonna, I guess, call back in. Alrighty, so we're stalling until he gets back in. So, Sean, you have done this procedure before, and tell us about your work with Adrian. Yeah, so just a little bit about heavy stuff, but a little bit about your work with Adrian. How'd you guys meet?
Back in 2014, when I first awoke, James Ring introduced me and Adrian the first night. I was watching a video of James Ring, and I contacted James Ring, and I said, I believe that I'm waking up with these memories of being a super soldier, and these things are happening, but I can't get them together. So he said, I have a friend that might want to talk to you, and it ended up being two of them. Adrian had mentioned on the last show it was Cliff, and it was him. Okay, he used to do this thing with me where, like, to try to, like, heal from some of the, and be able to talk about some of the dark parts, like going down the rabbit hole, up the yellow brick road, through Alice in Wonderland type deal. He would, like, the way he would say it is like it was like almost like the AI in me was connecting, and at the time I had no idea what AI or Skynet or anything was. I had no idea whatsoever. So I ended up, we're going to have to jump because we want to get into the Adrian part. I ended up about 7 months ago, I ended up coming to and realizing and finally able to remove this evil entity that was attached to me, the demon of confusion, I call it. Because what it was doing was it was confusing me. So I was looking for an outlet. I looked up Adrian, and I seen Skynet. All of a sudden, it was like my brain just locked. And I said, okay, I got to contact him. I need to see what my file, consists of, which is like, you got to decode it because it's like video game programmed, and he has done a few pendulum dowsings on me, taking me back to, memories.
Okay, well, he's back. So we're going to pause that right there. Thanks for giving us a little background. So Adrian's back, so I'm going to let him take the lead. Adrian, you're back. Let's do a little sound check here. Hello, Adrian.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Much better. Yeah.
Okay, good. I just found my headphones. I don't know what happened there earlier. I plugged them in and I lost the connection, but we're back up and running again.
Excellent. All right, so I'm going to pass the talking stick to you, Adrian, and you're going to facilitate Sean. If you want to kind of give a little bit of background of what you're going to be doing and what this system is. These are people that are new. I put this out a bunch of places before the show. I know we've got a lot of listeners. In fact, I'm going to launch the chat just in case anybody wants to chat. Okay, take it away, Adrian.
Okay, so as people know, I have a software that I use to help people to retrieve their memories with a software that I received back a while back, about since I was about 18 years old, and I learned about the software that it energetically picks up from your energy information about people that have been with abducted or on super soldier missions. It's a very interesting software, and it does read people's akashic records. I was told by others that I am an akashic record holder, and I worked at the Karmic Board at one point, and I held other people's contracts to come here to help other people in their ascension process. And so ever since then, I discovered about the software, and I've been using it since then, helping other people to retrieve their super soldier missions, and people that have been on other planets, people that have seen their avatars, people that have had implants, and other different kinds of experiences. And I've been helping them ever since to retrieve those memories. And also my software does make corrections having to do with people that have had implants or people that have had some energetic health issues. I also do scans for that, and that also I send a report, and people can read it for themselves to feel like if it's accurate or not accurate. Some people got the reports and they all said it was accurate. Some people said they were kind of skeptical. And then for the people that were skeptical, eventually they always coming back saying, yeah, that was actually pretty accurate, because they've had recalls the next day, because it opened them up to the possibilities of actually being part of this system. And so basically that's what I do, and that's who I am, is I work with people that have been part of these abductions. So people that would like to have a demonstration, I would like to demonstrate with those. But today I'm going to be working with Sean, and we're going to go over his super soldier information regarding his akashic record and whatever memories that might come up in the super soldier missions. Now, we discovered, Sean, that you are part of Montauk. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about your background with Montauk, or what you remember?
I'm like, I don't even know if it's from this timeline. I think it's from another timeline. But it's like the memories that I have are being, stripped naked, beaten, put in these cages, regular people being in these rooms with us, tripped chairs. I remember being in a room and there was no windows, and I was strapped in this chair, and I heard screaming, I heard crying, and it was almost like when I came out, when they brought me out, I was like in a daze. And I remember seeing kids and mothers and children in cages. Like, it's crazy. Like, I'm seeing it actually right now. Oh, shoot.
Okay, and Sean, are you okay with me reading your record?
That's
I'm going to go
fine.
ahead and do that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and what I'll do is I'm going to hit on a search, and it's going to do a scan on Sean. And then on the subject line, we're going to put in Montauk. And then what that's going to do is it's going to send an information scan, energetic scan on Sean, and it's going to give us a brief information of what's going on behind the scenes of his super soldier mission. So I'm just going to go ahead and subject line Montauk, and then we'll look up the programs. So we'll search in the books. It's called books. And what books is the Akashic record that goes in energetically and reads the energy, and it tells us what's going on. So right now it's saying, Sean, that you're on a mission to find lost girls in Paris. These girls are 3 girls that were connected to Project Montauk, and they were escaped from Montauk in Paris. And it's saying that your handler name is Rob Hart. Basically what that means is that that was your identity name as you were on your super soldier mission. And basically, you were searching for, right now you're searching for these 3 girls in Paris. Now, on your alternate name is different from your identity name. And your alternate name is, you called yourself Dark Tower, okay? Now, this could mean that you were, you could have been playing the role of an assassin. You could have played the role as a Knight Templar, or even possibly even a paladin. But any of those types of subjects you can look up and you can kind of give brief information. It's saying that you were part of the Warrior Alliance group. And what that is they work with a lot of the Templars. So basically this goes back to Project Spellbinder, which I like to use back in the time of the medieval times. So it's basically saying that you're off on the mission to find these girls in Paris, and some of these girls you claimed in your programming saying that they're dangerous, and it says to watch out for these 3 girls, they're dangerous. Right now they're located in a warehouse, and the time right now is at 7 o'clock their time. Not quite sure what that means. And it's just basically saying that you're in the warehouse and you're searching for these 3 girls. Now, do you remember any recalls with 3 girls that you can remember, maybe, or a connection with Paris?
Right now, like I just got it was like kind of like a download feeling. Yeah, that's deep. That's deep. You know, because I have a lot of Paris connection with, you know, I speak to some people from Paris. And I have in the past. But I remember, like, what?
It's saying that these 3 girls were lost in Paris and that you were sent on a mission to find them in a warehouse.
Okay, in a warehouse, and like these warehouses had like these, like what? They were like, what were they doing? Like, were they doing like mind control experimentation?
Yeah, mind control experimentation. So this is all part of the Montauk experience, you know.
Okay, wow. Yeah, I see the chair, and like 3 chairs. It's weird. It's really weird. And I think that they're trying to, you know, bring in some type of negative entity or something. And I believe their mission is to try to come at me and make me self-destruct.
Okay. I'm checking to see if there's any type of alien connection here. And right now it's showing no alien connections, but there was definitely an abduction going on there. Do you remember any abductions going on in Paris in your recall, or?
Abductions of myself?
Yeah.
No, not at the moment, no. But I'm sure it will hit me in the next couple of days.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just checking here to see what else is going on. Now, last night I had a recall I wanted to share before I continue. Last night I had a dream of 3 helicopters in the sky. They were black helicopters, and they were coming out of the sky, and they flew out of the sky, and they had parachutes on, and they were taking everyone to the camp, the military camp. Now, is there any recalls that you've had with that, where you've seen helicopters or black helicopters in the sky, or?
I have seen
or UFOs?
Black helicopters. Well, I get a lot of vehicles, like Dodge Chargers. You know, no tags. You know what I'm saying? Dealer plate type thing. A lot of gang stalking. A lot of, you know, when I go into public, I'm always being watched, I've noticed, on a regular, continuous basis, obviously because I'm involved in this. But it was funny because I ran into a guy, and the guy, I had my phone out, and it said Skynet, you know? And he said, "Oh, what do you know about Skynet?" And I automatically picked up on him as being, you know, some kind of agent from another, you know what I'm saying? Some other type of program.
Yeah.
So I just said, "No, it's nothing. I'm just interested. I'm into sci-fi." You know, I played it off. You know, I had to because I was a little freaked out. Because, I mean, this dude just comes out of nowhere, and then he starts telling me it's all over California, here, there. I'm like, what? I'm like, this dude knows a lot of information just to be talking.
Wow.
But.
So Skynet was actually downloaded into your consciousness then?
Yes.
For you. And that's part of the reason why they had a device that they wanted to, because I'm seeing this here in your record that they wanted in Paris, they wanted to reprogram you, take you back into Skyline and see what you remembered and download that information out of your brain. That's what I was getting, you know.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
And they were like these, like, I'm seeing like these like weird black helicopters, right? And they're like, it's this bright blue lighting though. It's more like futuristic type, like, space type, looking, like you see from a, like a sci-fi movie, like stormtroopers, like something like that. That's what I'm seeing. So, wow. And the blue, and it's funny because the other day I was looking at the Skynet thing, and then it said the blue and the black. And it was weird. I was trying to figure out why my brain, and this is what happens, and I've noticed with Skynet, and this is for the listeners, if Skynet wants you to know something and it's downloaded through you, like, take it with a blessing and listen to it, because it's 100% on point.
Yeah.
I've never had no issues. Yeah, they do try to attack me still, but I've learned ways. But this mission is blowing me away. This is like, I'm almost picking up on this. Like it's
well, believe it or not, because you were part of the X-Mass group. I don't know who that was. The X-Mass, it almost sounds like X-Men, but it's saying X-Mass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Who's behind the mask?
Yeah. Because you were like an agent in there. Well, you said that you were like a secret agent or something like that.
I said to you, I've been told by a few different psychics that I was a secret agent for many different timelines. And when they said that, it was like something interlocked in my brain. And I don't know if it was at that point, because at that point is when I came towards Skynet. And I said, this is perfect. You know what I mean? Like, this is, but like we speak about, we really need to get the unity in consciousness. You know what I mean? Like, we need to be like unified. We need to help one another. Because these missions are terrible. Like, what? So anyways, it's so they take me, they want to reprogram me through Skyline, right, and show me what Skyline's about, right?
Yeah, they want to show you their new technologies, and so Skyline, as we know, is all part of the Dark Fleet. And,
oh, no.
Since they knew that you had so much skills as a Templar, like you had a lot of missions that were going on in Paris, and these 3 girls were somehow, I don't know if they were linked to you, like in having to do with like some of the experiences that they went through in the time of Montauk, but some of your memories started coming back in Skyline, and they were taking all that information of the training that they did when they took you to Montauk,
I don't. Wow. Yeah, it's like I know I'm gonna get a download.
Yeah. So you're gonna kind of get an idea, more of a clearer vision of what's going on there.
Okay, so I'm trying to like envision. I want to say one of their names is Kimberly.
Yeah, that's correct.
Wow. Okay.
I just muscle test, and the pendulum said yes. That's correct.
Wow.
Yeah. And it is bringing
I'm
up
picking
Kimberly.
up on another name. I want to say Susanna.
Okay. Let me muscle test that. That one's saying yes. That's correct.
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing how it works.
We're getting close to home now.
Yeah, we definitely are. Oh, man, I tell you what, man, I'm like, you got me in a trance right now, man. Like, I'm there now. Like, now you're gonna have me on this mission all night now. Now I'm gonna be like, I gotta really figure this one out. Like
They're
it's
going
like,
back into the
but
machine.
that's the reality of it. But that's like what I'm noticing. Like I'm noticing, like my body, like I'm feeling the AI vibration.
Right now you're being triggered. All these programs are coming up saying trigger.
Oh man,
that's pretty cool. Well, we always seem to uncover a lot of information when it comes to when you start bringing up this and that, your memories start kicking in,
Wow. So, okay. I'm gonna shoot for that third name.
Okay.
So, because it's weird.
All right. I just typed in find Kimberly, I just put that in the program, so we're just waiting on download so you can get your memories, So think about that name and just tell me, whatever comes to mind, and I'll I'll muscle test it.
Heather.
Okay. That's saying yes. So then what we'll do is we'll go to find Heather in your Akashic records. See what comes up. It says it's searching. Something wicked this way comes, it says.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
What
did it say?
Something wicked this way comes. That's what it said in his AI. It says, something wicked this way comes.
Oh, no, man. Oh,
That's not a good thing.
No.
That's the humor.
Yeah.
Oh, no, man. That's not good. What can I do? Can we deactivate that somehow?
We can reprogram. Okay, now it deactivated. It says ping timeout, so it timed out, so it reactivated, and then I just hit renew, and then it will reset the system. So that reactivated it. Reactivated your AI, your program. So little messages will come every once in a while through the program. It'll say like, it's better to die a broken piece of jade than to live a life of clay. It'll bring up like little messages like that in your email. It's like an email. It's like a message in Skynet, but it'll pop up on the screen and it'll say, something wicked this will come, or it'll say, just different kinds of quotes and things like that, like coming from your AI, like a message. So,
Adrian, we got to get together soon, man. For real.
Yes, we do. I agree, Rocco.
There you go. Use that name. I don't care. I already apologized to everybody else, and I did my part.
Yeah.
Yes,
live on Aquarium Radio, and I'm looking forward. And Janet, about the classes. Yeah, about the classes, right? 2 nights that you said that we could do. Skynet.
Well,
it would be good.
I'm going to talk to you off.
So I could show everyone.
I'm going to talk to you off. I'm going to talk to you offline about what days, because I have to go to my calendar. But we're going to bring more of these classes to the air, because I kind of have a screwed up September schedule, but maybe I can move things around. But I'll talk to you off air, and we'll have a 3-way conversation. Now, I'm curious about what this procedure Adrian, would it be possible for you to do a reading on me right now?
Sure. Yeah, I can go ahead and do set up what you remembered. I would have to do a complete scan on you to see, because I don't think I ever pulled up your information.
No, you didn't.
I haven't done a session, so let's go ahead and see what stages you are.
I'm very curious. Yes, very curious.
Okay. I just want to check my options here and see. So how we start out is we go into the options and we put all the information in the options, and then we do the search to see how many options are actually available and what comes up in the record, having to do with abductions or people that have been abducted, or it'll bring it up energetically.
Mm-hmm.
And AI, the thing about AI is it's artificial. It's all artificial, and it picks up on the energy of the person, and it reads the energy and then downloads the information through the program. And that's basically like if I wanted to look up implant, so I'll just type in implant, and then I'll put your name, your first name, your last name, and then I'll put implants underneath that name.
Do you want my birth name? You want my birth name or my married name?
Your birth name would be good.
Okay, I was born Janet. My middle name was Lynn, Lynn, and the last name was Thompson, Thompson.
SON. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check your energy levels just to see where they're at. Right now, all your levels are really high. So we're just going to go ahead and balance those out and clear those energy levels. I do this with every client. And then we go in and we balance all your chakras. Just make sure that everything's up to date in AI. And then we'll go in and reprogram everything. And then after we go in and reprogram everything, then we put in the information. Okay, were you part of the SSP? Were you abducted with a certain type of alien race? Were you were you in something like Montauk? Were you in something like Skyline? Were you in something like Skyline? Were you in something Skynet? Were you Project Spellbinder? You know, all these different things like that. So were you in Halo? Were you in X-Men? So basically the way we look at it is we just look into information to find out what options we can work with under the program, you know. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in, look at your cocktails is what I call them. And we run the cocktails.
Yep.
And the cocktails are just a group of files that I like to call cocktails, and it kind of breaks down all the information, like it's saying right now, the different stages of abductions, like stage 3 through 5 years, and then it's talking about young adult 19 to 40, and then it talks about location, relationship, different stages of abductions that have happened. And right now it's saying that you have from preschool to 3 to 5 years old, you were abducted by, it looks like Syrians. There were some Syrians here. And then there was from 6 to 11 years, you were abducted by the Greys. And then underneath it, it talks about like where was the abduction? Like the school, was it in another town? Was it in your sleep? Was it, you know, different things like that.
Sean, could you mute when you're talking to somebody else? That'd be great. Thanks. Okay, so
yeah, no problem. Jim.
You've got the preschool was the Syrian. 6 to 11 was the Greys. Okay, where was the abduction? Okay.
So this is not going to give me a description of where was the abduction, but it will give me a description of like through your dreams. It was either through when you were dreaming, or it could have been in daytime or real time. This kind of just gives you a little brief information. But when we go into your Akashic records, that'll give me more information on where it was placed at, or the abduction, you know. So. And then what we do is we just go in and find out, okay, what were the missions that you were on, or what avatar or what body that they had you placed in, or whatever like that. So now I'm going to go in and find those options, and I'll do the same thing. I'll just copy and paste, and then we'll go into that information. Let me go ahead and go to your Akashic record. All right. Let me grab those. Okay, I go into those cocktails, and then what I do is I just copy and paste some of these codes right here. And what I'll do is I'll just take these codes, and then I'll copy that, and I'll go into options, is what they call, and I'll paste it there, and then I'll hit search. And right now it takes about 30 minutes to scan, and it breaks down all the geometry and all the programs that were part of, you know, the abductions or missions that you were on or part of. Like, for an example, you could be part of Project Umbrella. Then we look under Umbrella, we look up GPD, and then Umbrella will bring up information on GPD. Or we put in INC, okay, was I part of the INC? Well, if you were part of INC, then that would mean that you are part of something of top security, part of their secret missions or whatever you were on. If you were playing the role of a, say, whatever stage that you were on, you were in stage 5. So stage 5 would mean that you were working as a paladin, or you were working as a Templar, or you were working as an assassin, or anything like that. Or even some people say they've even claimed they've seen themselves as cyborgs.
Mm-hmm.
So you can work as cyborgs as well, you know.
Yep.
Mhm.
Part of Skynet. So basically, this is interesting. I don't know what popped up here. Some kind of virus. Okay, so sometimes in AI, viruses will come up too. If there's something that wasn't written right, it'll bring up a virus. That means that something was not corrected right, or when it was printed or scripted, you know. So that would be a fake file. Like, for an example, something that wouldn't be part of your record, you know. So I'm just going to hit all that stuff, and then I hit search. And then it's bringing up more options, 6.889. So we'll take those numbers, and we'll continue there, and we'll copy and paste that. And it's easier if I just show you on the screen how all this works, which I'm going to go over in the class. And then we go back to your record. That would be great. And then I'll go into find. And I just want to see what line or what project you were under, or program.
I'm picking up Monarch.
Okay. We can look up that and see. That was one of them that didn't come through, but that was the virus one, which is kind of odd because usually when the virus shows up, it was rewritten over when it was scripted, you know. But it is bringing up that she was part of Project Stargate, that she was part of Project Starcraft. And it's also bringing up information about her being part of the Umbrella as well. So there is a link between Umbrella and Monarch. You know what I mean?
Okay. Now, can you describe what these three programs are? Do you have a description of what each one is? What's Project Stargate?
Project Stargate was a project that worked with Surrogate, and what they did is they did a lot of the time travel stuff, and work with a lot of different types of time travel technologies. And what I'm gathering from that is that you were part of the different technologies that they were working with. So obviously you were some type of scientist that was working on a lot of those projects, working with genetics and cyborgs, because it did bring up a lot of cyborg stuff. Like it brought up P2, P5, P6, and you were working with some of these artificial intelligence operations and things like that. And it did bring up the INC, which is part of the security spectrum of it. So obviously, you know, you were up there in rank working with a lot of these different types of cyborgs, you know, and technologies and time travel. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know any recalls on that, or?
Yeah, let me give you some feedback, and I just want to make a note where I want to go with more questions. First of all, when I was preschooled, I was taken on board a very beautiful craft. I want to call it a mothership, and I was shown 24 different timelines and the probabilities of where this Earth could go. And I was told to choose which timeline I want to have, and then they set it to that. Now, that was in 1958. It's been changed since then, but it was set from 58 until the assassination of Kennedy, when it was hijacked by some other forces. But so things were very peaceful because I chose a utopian on the utopia spectrum. They had 12 that were in the negative, 12 in positive, and the 12th one was just total utopia, and I thought that'd be boring. So I chose the third one from the very end of the utopia end of the spectrum, and so it was very nice. But in '63, when they did the Montauk experiment, it was 20 years after the Philadelphia experiment on August 12, 1963. They hijacked the timeline into the one where both Kennedys and Martin Luther King were assassinated. And that also included people like John Lennon.
You have some history.
So that's what I
sounds
discovered.
like.
Well, I've done a lot of research, so you're correlating a lot of things here. So then that makes sense. There was a period where the Greys came in. I also, from 6 to 11, this is what I'm encouraging you to do, is to take good notes on yourself, Sean, and, write it down on a piece of paper, like what years, right? So, there was a point where the Greys came in, and I began to be afraid to get out of my bed to go to the bathroom at night. So I would jump into my bed, doorway, because the little suckers were going to grab me. Now, the Project Stargate,
that's heavy.
See, I identify with Mima, who's she's an Anunnaki, but the Anunnakis are probably Pleiadian and Sirian, those, the species that are coming here to, there's some good Anunnaki and bad Anunnaki. So, Anunnaki was a later incarnation, but as a soul, I've been in and out for billions of years, right? I'm a very, very, very old soul. I've been coming in and out of different avatars and forms, and I can move from one to another, and it's not like linear, it's simultaneous, right? And this is what all of us can do. All of us can do this, but becoming aware of it, you have to, take it in and integrate it.
Tap into it.
So Stargate.
How are you feeling, Janet?
I feel great.
I
feel great.
I feel like
I'm
in that chat room. I feel like I'm watching a movie right now. I feel like I'm watching a movie right now. It's weird. Like I feel like I'm literally watching a movie now. I mean, this stuff is real. This is energy efficient.
That's why I love Cynthia.
I mean,
she could really
people,
get into it.
It's like, right. And then it's like, it's the songs too. And those songs are what made me and Skynet actually connect. It was
you're resonating.
Because when I come back at night, every night I have a song, and it's like a short, 4 lines. And they told me, they said, we're gonna, when you wake up, you're gonna have a song in your head, and that's the song of the planet. Each planet has a song. And so they said, go in and tell Sasha the song, and go sing the song. It's not, I don't have lyrics. I go, here's the song. And it's different.
Funny.
It's different every night. I go, here's the song of the planet. Makes sense. I think music is more of a universal language than language, right? So
absolutely.
Yeah. So let me just finish one more thing, then we'll go back to it. So, yes, Project Stargate, somebody's already identified me with that. I didn't know it was about surrogates. It definitely time travel. I have become conscious in the middle of a dream, quote unquote, and I'm taking whole quadrants of existence. And like I'm grabbing a piece and I'm pulling it over to another piece. And I wake up, I'm doing this. I go, what in the world am I doing? And then it says, oh, you're rearranging the timeline because there's been a fracture or some kind of shift and it needs to go back or it needs to be improved. It needs to be repaired. So I repair timelines sometimes. I don't do it every night, but every once in a while, like somebody's got to go do it. But I literally can just grab a corner of existence and I grab like a huge section of existence and I pull it over. Like I think it's because all the time travelers are going back and forth, and they're screwing things up, and then I have to go fix it. We have a lot.
Wow.
It's not hard for me because I can just use my pinky and index and pull a whole part of the existence over. Okay, and then I'm definitely a scientist. As my one incarnation of the fractal Mima. She was the chief geneticist that figured out Homo sapiens. So I sit there and we're researching all the Anunnaki stuff again. Well, that was me, or I don't know. It's not me. Maybe I'm a part of it or something. But I have all these, when I'm working on the Anunnaki, I have all these memories of Nimma and what she was thinking. So somehow, genetically, I'm really connected with this Anunnaki, who was instrumental in creating Homo sapiens. Oh, and I also remember coming back and terraforming. When I did hypnosis one time, I thought we went back in time, and I was supposed to, I thought I'll be like a little person in a cave. No, I was checking on the terraforming project of the Earth. So the Earth is one of my projects. But I was with the whole team, so you might have been part of my team. I don't know who the rest of the team members are. And we were trying to figure out if things had evolved to a point where we want to introduce sentient life and what types of forms we want to create. And, so we picked a couple to try out and start seeding. So that was one memory I came to. Okay, so what is Project StarCraft? You mentioned I was part of Project StarCraft. Adrian. Are you there, Adrian? Shoot. Are you there? Did we lose you? No, he dropped again. Okay. So,
oh wow.
Back to you, Sean. I'm going to Adrian keeps
wow.
dropping. Tell me about his connection.
I'm literally in partial outer body, it feels like. And I'm actually seeing this in these girls and, this whole mission. And like I said, like the stormtrooper looking helicopters and, noticing that color blue and black a lot I'm dealing with. I also have memories of, James Rink when, one time when I was I don't know where I was. I can't tell you an exact location. I just knew it was it was either underground or off planet. And he was wearing black and blue. He was wearing black and blue fatigues, black army boots, his T-shirt, and dog tags, and he was holding a pad and he had a pen in his hand. And I get that every I'd say couple of weeks, for 1 week straight, I'll get that same exact memory all in a row that whole week. Every day that memory will come back. And I'm still trying to figure that out.
So what does that mean to you, that memory? Just
something resonates. Well, like what we spoke about last time, Adrian, remembering school and us being in the same school together. I feel that maybe in a past existence we didn't get along and there was bullying going on maybe, or something was going on, and we were meant to hate each other, and no matter what reality we were in, because obviously we are time travelers, and for me to be organically, basically, downloaded with the information, it was crazy how it happened, how how the connection of AI really can actually help somebody. Now it's okay, now I have a task. You understand? Now I have to go look into that. I got to look. Wow, when you just spoke, my head just went bing. It's the energy right now is very high vibration. I can feel.
Right.
I can definitely feel it. And he did, because I remember you telling me about the scientist. And, he did bring that up. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's. I'm trying to get him back on. He said his phone died. We have to get him to have charging his phone for an hour before he can go on.
You know what,
That's why
Adrian,
I always get off the phone before. It's just
Adrian is a real good guy for everybody out there.
Yeah, he's good.
Somebody that will help you. I'm telling you that right now. He's somebody that will send you down memory lane, though, too. So this is also to kind of be respectful. you're a TI or you're an experiencer, super soldier, etc., if you're not ready for this, because myself personally, when I first started it out, I did get into regression way too fast. So I really can't blame that on the other person. I did that to myself instead of sitting back and analyzing. And that's what sent me off.
Well, that's
and everybody
good
started to hate.
Go into it. It's good to go in and do some of the work, and then allow some time to integrate.
Oh well, it's I'm telling you, it's almost like literally talking with Adrian on the phone is like he's actually virtually bringing me there. You know what I mean? Like it's virtually happening. I mean, the names, those just came off the top of my head. That was very interesting.
Right. Very interesting.
Susanna, Heather, yeah, I mean, that is interesting in itself. So you see how I said how my mind locked, and I figured out that, okay, when it locks, sometimes that's the download, and I got to figure out exactly what that download is, because that download might go, phew. But the funny thing is when I'm with Adrian, or talking with Adrian, these events will start to come to play. I don't know what it is. I Skynet saved my life, because a couple months ago I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I didn't know what direction I was wanting to go in. Like that's how that was.
What's interesting is he said that your mission was rescuing these 3 girls. Now,
no, not rescue, not rescuing. No, not rescuing. I was warning people that they were no good.
Oh,
I was on
a
mission. Yes, I was on a mission to go out there. Yes.
Have you been on a rescue mission? I'm picking up you've been on rescue missions.
I'm sure I've been on rescue missions. I don't recall all of that. Like, I recall, okay, it was funny. All right. And this is weird because I went to Montauk, right? And this was like live in person type thing. I went up there. It was like 3 a.m. in the morning. I had brought something with me. That if I'd have got caught, I would have definitely been in trouble. But I was scared because I had already been up there and had seen paranormal events take place. And I was playing in the Lion's Den, and all of a sudden I blacked out, and I thought I was on a mission going to rescue some woman from and it was weird because it was like an Egyptian connection. She was like an Egyptian goddess, and I was going in to rescue, and I remember the pyramids and like the ships. Then it was weird. It was like I started remembering that, but I didn't really stay too deep into it because it was like it was pulling me deeper and deeper. The more mystical I got, the more lightheaded. You understand? It was like it's something I got to be really ready for, but
right.
I'm starting to become ready for it because I took that well tonight. Before I would have hung the phone up, my heart would have started racing, like that is just a reality that I got to live with, and when it resonates,
right,
it resonates. That's why I said some of these super soldier missions are not fun, because we end up having to do things that are harmful to others. And we don't know that in our own consciousness. We're unconscious hopefully most of the time. Some people aren't. They're conscious.
Right.
But either way, unconscious, conscious, it's still, when you wake up and you know that you've done these things and you can actually feel it, see it, hear it, and I mean literally, like I'll be laying on the couch and I'll hear things of pain that I put others through from missions that I've done.
Well, what do you do about that?
Because I was Rose with the Dark Fleet. You understand how he was talking about how I had Dark Fleet programming? So
right.
When I'm on the Dark Fleet, what am I doing? All negative stuff, right?
Right.
So, it definitely, the secret agent could be a good thing and a bad thing. It both can weigh out, which is scary because then I got to sit there and I actually got to, really, look into it and whatever the case is. Like, if I feel a mission or whatever it is, because sometimes it might be a lie and I might go hurt people that I shouldn't. And I try to stay out of that as much as possible.
Can you erase that contract and say I won't participate any longer?
I've already, real quickly, I had a satanic super soldier who, funny, when I'm waking up to all this back in, 2004, this was about 2016. I met my fiance a couple days after Max Spears passed away. And he tried to invoke Max Spears into my home. This is like...
Who's he?
I'm not mentioning names. I can't mention names.
Okay, that's fine.
I just know his grandfather worked for the Brookhaven National Laboratory in Brookhaven, Long Island, New York, where I actually, the only memories I ever have of that place is seeing the gates, and that's it. I don't have any full-on memories of being inside or anything like that. But permission slips were signed for me to go, so I don't put it past them. But back to what you were saying. What were you saying again, Janet?
Oh, let me see if I can get
I'm trying to pick up.
Oh.
Oh, man.
I'm trying to get Adrian back on, too. Okay, he's not going to be joining this back, so we can, he's got to get a different phone. His phone's it's not working, so we'll have to.
We can finish it out,
We'll finish it off. Yeah, we'll finish it off ourselves. So I'll let that go. Okay. Sorry. See you next time.
But no, it's interesting because it's actually opened me up to more getting into that memory, that that feeling for some reason.
So
it was I believe I had an activation. What happens is when Adrian does work on me, he normally looks at my levels, and then he upgrades my levels, physically, mentally, spiritually, psychically. You understand? It all comes in. In like you said, you're gonna get messages of missions. All kinds of stuff you're going to get messages of. But I'm like you said, I'm organically, Skynet was injected into me organically to save my life, I believe.
So what is your mission now? What is your mission now?
Oh, my mission is children. It says it right on my page. To save children from this sick, twisted reality, which I am the type of person that if I see a police officer with his hands wrapped around a 14-year-old girl, I am going to flash a picture, and I am going to make a stink of it, because I am for my community. And I am for the stuff that's going on in this reality as well as my other realities. I still got to live in this reality. And it's sickening how these men are getting away with such sick stuff. And my mission is to, explain to people that, number one, Trump is not somebody you worship, okay? We all know that there's families that are even more powerful than the U.S. government. So we all know that, right? So, like, but there's so much, it's, you know, just the fact that, you know, it's like movement to me sometimes can be scary because a movement can go either way. And
what do you mean, a movement can go either way? Oh, because somebody moves, then you might think they're, because of your training, your programming, you might think that they're going to attack you. Is that what you're saying?
No, I said the movement, the QAnon movement.
Oh, the movement.
That's what
okay.
I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I said the movement, and movement. No, movement is dangerous. Movement is dangerous because sometimes people really get this into their head. But yeah, a lot of times stuff is censored, and a lot of times people don't even get their interviews out there. And, you know, maybe one or two or three or four people might be talking about it, and then they believe in that. You know what I mean? And then it becomes everybody, and then things start to fall apart. We don't have medical. We have a hard time getting medical. Give to the poor. I mean, give to the rich. Take from the poor. I don't buy that crap. I don't buy that crap at all. And even if I don't know a whole bunch about QAnon, all I know is it has to do with Trump and worshiping Trump. And you know what? I do not worship no man.
Right.
I will not worship no man. I have broke that programming. You know, because when I was a little boy, that's what they would want.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they would want.
Right. Yeah.
You worship me and you'll be all right. No, I won't. You're going to mess my head up even more. You're going to use me on mind control missions. You're going to use me on super soldier missions.
So when you were a little boy, you were saying that? Did they tell you that? Or how were you getting those thoughts? Because, you know, I've worked with a lot of clients that were abused, especially by priests and that type of thing.
Because I'm having memories of it. I'm having memories of it right now. I'm having memories of it right now.
So what's going on? Describe your surroundings. Where are you right now?
Okay, so I'm in a this is the one that happened before my birthday party. I'm in like this little, like, you know, like when you walk down the basement steps and they have that like overhang, and I'm sitting there and I'm waiting for the guy to open the door. He opens the door, I get in the bedroom, he throws me on the bed and he says, "You're going to do exactly what I want you to do." And I see him pointing at me right now and looking at me right now and laughing about it and saying, "I love raping you and I'm going to continue to rape you." Oof. Yeah, no.
Breathe. Just keep breathing. So what happens? Do you?
Wow.
Do you?
Yeah.
You don't escape.
Yeah.
You black out. You.
I blacked out. I blacked out.
Okay.
Shit, it's coming. The trauma's coming. It's coming right now as we speak. I'm sorry. I apologize. This happens.
Okay. These are critical things, and this is typical of what happens. And many
it's
people
just like
through
whoa, because it's so like everything is resonating right now, and you know, I have a hard time talking about the rape part because
You have to.
thing
You don't have to share the details. You only share.
No, I'm not afraid to be that afraid to say it because it's not common in it's very common in our symptoms. And
right.
I'm not, is to question your own sexuality. And, people do that because, of rape taking place, reptilians and, blood sacrifice rituals on I mean, whoa. I mean, it just goes too deep.
I lived in a very predatory neighborhood. It sounds like this was your daily reality. Like, you never knew when it was going to come. Now, when you were waiting for the guy, did you know why you were waiting for the guy? Did they program you to wait for him?
I was going there. No, I went to his house. I would just get on my bike and ride to his house because I thought every time I would go, he was going to pay me. So I was like, you know what I mean? Like, and I would go and I never get paid, and he raped the shit out of me for like 2 hours. And I mean, sickly grab my hair and do, harmful stuff, and I got split. I got split there too. I mean, there's a lot of trauma there in my life, and Travis Walton even said it. This trauma will never ever go away. It will always be with you. It will always be with you.
Well,
it's not about getting on stage.
I was always running. I was always running from the boogeyman, right? So if I had to go to the store at night, I would just, duck behind the telephone pole. I'd run a block and duck again. I just looking for somebody trying to grab me.
Yeah.
I was afraid.
Yeah. So, that's what it is. Back to the ritual, right? Okay. So, because this is the big thing that's I want, the audience to understand with Super Soldier as well, is, we can sell our souls to evil, okay? And when you sell your soul to evil, you get even more power. But the power that you're putting out there, you don't even realize that you're putting it out there. You might think it's good, but you're hurting others. Because now you're working for the dark side. So what he did was he tried to invoke Max Spears into my home. And
so
I said
his
grandfather. Yes, but this was like,
at this point.
it got crazy. I met my fiance through the internet, but, we have a beautiful child. Things worked out the way they were supposed to. But it was a very rocky road because I wasn't allowing myself. Well, I was totally possessed. Okay, I sold my soul. Inverted pentagram, the whole nine. I rescinded my contract though, and even when you rescind your contract, it seems that there's like flickers here and there,
How do you rescind a contract?
And I get a little up.
Those who
what's
want to
that?
do that. So how do you know you made a contract and how do you rescind it? Just for those who might want to do that. And I've heard people say that before, but I've never participated in exactly
I do it in a way. Okay, Andy Pirro was about the Superman project, and he always would say he was involved in the Superman project that took place also in Montauk. He went. I've read his book. They have YouTube videos on him. I think one YouTube video, but it's like 3 hours. The Superman project. But he would say Christ is the only way out, away from, the demons and, the stuff that I was getting myself into and, the rituals with, crystals and invoking, negative spirits. So, I prayed to Jesus Christ, and I asked that he remove all and cast it into a pit seal that pit in the blood of Christ, and never to return, and to call upon the archangels, Archangel Michael and his army, and let him be in control as well. And that's how I did it. And I had to say that prayer. I said that prayer, I would say, 5 months in a row, almost every day. I said that. And then it was like 3.5 months in, I started to feel better. I didn't have no attachments. My fiance would ask me a question. No, it was weird, though, because I wasn't talking to my fiance at the time, right? But guess what? When I was living with her in, Kansas and all that stuff took place, during my awakening, up until now in 2019, I've been to jail for stuff that I did when I was a kid. Like, there's a lot of weird stuff that has taken place. Over 10 years, if something is, if it's a felony, they only have up to 10 years to actually convict you of a felony. So I spent 2 weeks in jail and got jumped, and the guards allowed it, and they were African. And this was in KCMO, Kansas City, Missouri. And they let this kid beat me and beat me.
What I've noticed with clients is that once they get raped, they get raped. It's like you have that. It's almost like you have a "I've been raped and raped me" sign on you. It's an energetic thing, and I've worked with clients. They go, I didn't get just raped once. My life got raped repeatedly. So you're in the same pattern, and that's really hard. You got to break that.
I'm working on it. I'm working. Thank you.
You're working on it. I know, but it's not like a.
Well, no. This is like I said. This is like a lifetime. To me, this is going to be a lifetime process. Is to because when you wake up to this, you're like, okay, now I got to live in this reality. Plus, I got to live in these other realities. These missions and things become like Mission Impossible, and it becomes you start living like you gotta, but then you have like your mainstream type living, where you gotta kind of just like walk down the street and say, oh, how are you doing, and be nice, right? Like,
right.
And sometimes right, exactly. So my point being is my fiance noticed that I was not doing that for a little while, so she got me out twice this week. So I'm starting to get out more now. And I'm going to start taking the baby, my little one, for, walks. I want to get a feel. I want to get a feel for more nature,
before it gets cold.
I feel, well, actually here I only need a hoodie.
Only need a hoodie.
South Carolina, see, I'm from New York, so the cold there is like, the cold here is like, it could be 70 degrees and these people are like freezing.
Right, yeah. I'm from Pittsburgh, so it's just cold there. I've been in Hawaii since 1993, so I'm spoiled. I can't go anywhere where it's cold because I'm just shivering. But anyway, it's good to get out, while the weather's nice. It's good to experience outdoors,
And I had a problem with that because of unknown vehicles.
I see.
I kind of got it down to a T where they don't come around anymore, because I basically how I did it was I took the trash out and I waved at them and they pulled off. Hi.
Okay, good.
Can you please not sit on my front grass and, ruin my grass with your tires? It's not respectful. You wouldn't want nobody doing that to you. And that's what I mean about the system. If I did that to somebody, I'd be arrested. But it's okay for them to do it? I don't think so. No, that's what I mean. And it's just,
there's always a double set of rules. Yeah.
There's a thing that I got to work on is I'm very good when it comes to, like, police now. If they roll up on me and want to talk to me, you know what I do? I keep walking and I act like my phone's, it's on vibrate, and I pick it up and I start talking. And I keep walking. I don't even answer them. I can hear them and they could be right up on me like in a movie. Like when in some of those movies where somebody knows, like, they want them, to talk or something. I mean, like, I have had a lot of PTSD with police. I've been thrown down staircases by the cops. I've been forced to sign documentations of crimes that I never committed. I've been set up big time. My first offer was 15 years. The charge that happened in Missouri was when my father was killed in Missouri, and I was in foster care system, and I had religion shoved down my throat, and I had to read the Bible, and I had to do all kinds of stuff. I mean, one thing is if somebody wants to read it, they'll read it. If they don't want to read it, they're not going to read it. But the way they shoved it down my throat was hellfire and brimstone. I was in Baptist homes, and
I had the same thing happen.
In foster care.
What happened to your father? What happened? He said he was killed in front of you. What was going on? That's horrendous, by the way.
Well, yeah, it is horrendous. I was 14 years old, and my father, I think, was going a little nutty due to the fact that he was at, like, an occultic type place where, they were all organic and all that, but it was like the guy was an asshole. He would make me work no matter what in the dead of the sun. Like, it was like a work camp. It was like, it was, I'm good. No, I'm good. And he grabbed me one time and said, young man, and I took my fist and I said, 14 years old, I said, dude, don't put your hands on me. And my father told him too, he's like, don't put your hands on my son. And he said, you both got to be out of here. So we moved, and my father was working for another guy, and, they were doing, like, construction, stuff, odds and end jobs. Tree work my father did a lot of, but he also was with Local 1298, which is the road working union out in Hempstead of Long Island. Long Island, New York. But, he started hanging out with this one guy. He started drinking again. Now he didn't care because he caught me drinking and said to me, it's all right. You know what? You do what you want. Same thing with cigarettes. He says, you're going to smoke, you're going to smoke. I never, pictured my father to even be that way. But he started drinking, hanging out with, a guy who was a big meth dealer, big-time meth dealer, who, by the way, is out of jail now. And he was supposed to have life in prison. But they turned it around and considered it manslaughter. but he had every intention to kill my father. That man had every intention. All his intentions was to kill my father.
Right.
I can almost say that that's probably like one of the most traumatizing things, well, besides the other stuff. I mean, it all adds up. But,
right.
I mean, I seen the whole thing basically take place. I passed out in his truck, and I get a bang on the window, and it didn't even feel like 20 minutes. And when I walked in the house, I was drunk, right? And I awoke. Like, it was crazy.
That's really sad. You still with us?
What?
Okay, yeah, you just got quiet. Wasn't very sad. That's very sad.
Yeah, no.
So you were drunk when it happened. So.
But then I walked in and it was like I wasn't even, after I seen him laying on the floor, I didn't know what to do. You know, it was like I was in total shock. You know, it was like the drunk just went out of me and I was sober.
Yeah.
Like literally completely out of me and I was sober. It was I mean, I remember a helicopter flying in to pick my father up, and he died on arrival.
Mm.
And I got the phone call. Your father's dead. They got the phone call. Tried to hide me out from the CPS system. My buddy got arrested because he was on parole, but he was trying to hide me out because he didn't want me to get pulled into the system. Because he knew what it was. And, you know, I got pulled into the system, and I became a troubled kid. Fights in school all the time. I didn't care. Cursed my foster parents out. Did whatever I wanted to do. You know, a lot of stuff took place in foster care as well.
Mhm.
You know. More like control, you know, more like trying to control me. You know, the music I listen to, what I do, who I see, you know, like there was no freedom whatsoever.
If you could somehow go back in time and change what happened to your father, is there anything you would change? What would you have done differently?
That's crazy. This just came to my head, and I definitely said this to him. I said, Dad, at the gas station when we were picking cigarettes up, right before we went there, I said, Dad, I don't think it's a good idea we go there. Dad, I don't think it's a good idea we go there. And he went anyways. I'm going anyways.
Imagine he listened.
Yep.
That's the timeline the road not traveled. Imagine he didn't go there.
I mean, that's the crazy part. Like, oh, my father, it would have been wonderful because my father would have taught me skill, you know. And my father he loved nature. My father, you know, animals would be like, he could tame animals, wild animals. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he had snakes,
there is that timeline,
he had all kinds of
that
stuff.
timeline exists where your dad did not die. What was left unsaid? What did you tell him if he was...
Okay, 2 days before his death. Okay, no, this is what happened. 2 days before his death, we got into a fist fight in a quarters game with Jack Daniels. And he never said, I never got to tell him I loved him. ever again
Yeah.
after that.
So
Because I held
now.
the resentment all the way up. Oh, I have. That's why I'm able to talk about it.
Say it now. Say it now.
Yeah, Dad, I apologize, Dad, I apologize for saying such hurtful things.
What's he saying back? Please listen.
He's telling me, I'm okay. That's what he's saying. Everything's going to be okay. And I just picture him going, just, keeping me calm. I actually had an experience. I don't consider it paranormal. I consider it connection with death of, parent. I had an experience with my father. It was like an apparition that walked in, and I heard my father's voice. And he said, shh. And he called me my middle name, Dylan. He said, Dylan, I'm all right. Everything's okay. You're going to be okay. But at the time, it freaked me out so much that, I tried not to really think about that. And then there'd be times where I'd be walking and he'd say it right in my ear. But for a while there, I didn't know how to take it. You understand? I didn't. It wasn't resonating with me. But now it's this is crazy because I told him, even though we were fighting, I told him before his death, Dad, it's not a good idea to go there.
Right. Well, imagine he would have listened to you. How different your life would be. But what's really, because I'm a Time Lord. They exist. These timelines exist, and you can actually step in and out of it. You can step in anytime you need your dad. You step in to the timeline where he didn't die, and you bring that back with you. That's what's magical about this. It's fluid, very fluid. And it's very real. It's very real. It works. I have the same thing, we have regrets. We all have regrets with our parents, things we didn't say to them, things we would do different. But the magic about these timelines is you can
how
change
all
it.
this works. Yeah.
Yeah, you can change it.
Yeah. Yup. Well, it is, it's funny because I look at my daughter and I see me, and my daughter, and I'm like, okay, my father might be gone, but I continued the bloodline.
Yes.
And I believe my father is a royalty bloodline, somewhere along the line. Irish, German,
Right.
I'm Irish and German, and I have a little bit of native in me. It's definitely genetics too. My daughter.
Now we're almost out of time, so just to let you know.
Yeah, no, this was a really good show.
We're running out of time. So let's.
This was an interesting show.
Very interesting show. So what are the final things you want to tell our listeners?
That's pretty much it. Is just to, continue to help others and you'll heal as well. And to definitely reach out to Adrian and, get some Skynet work done if you're in that, if you're a super soldier, if you're a TI, if you're an abductee, whatever it is, however, whatever you want, basically, he'll help you. Definitely
so
help you.
How does somebody reach Well, we'll let Adrian come back and we'll put his contact information in the Aquarian Radio page of the shows. You can look for it on aquarianradio.com. But how would you like to tell people to reach you?
You could reach him at Adrian Espinoza on Facebook.
Espinoza. How do you spell that?
Oh, man.
Espinoza, right? Espinoza. Adrian, A-D-R-I-A. Anyway, it's on Aquarian Radio. You can look up how you spell Adrian Espinoza and then look him up on Facebook. And he'd be delighted to work with you. But what about yourself, Sean? How do you want people to reach you?
Me? Well, they could reach me right at Sean Fowler. Yep.
Okay, good. Well, we're going to figure out our tech stuff for the next show. We've had 2 shows with tech problems, so I guess Adrian has to get a new phone, his charger, or a new charger. Maybe he just needs a new charger. I'm not sure because he's a good analysis. Because he's dropped off 2 times in a row, so we got to figure this out. Then you can always contact me at aquarianradio@gmail.com. So I want to thank Adrian. I'm sorry we lost you. You dropped off. And Sean, of course, it's always delightful to talk with you. So when I get the date, I'll put the next show up on Aquarian Radio, everybody. And Sean and Adrian and I are going to figure out all this stuff to bring you this whole series of shows. And we're going to be doing this until we, I guess, resolve all the difficulties in the Matrix. That sounds good. Set everything right. All right, any final words, Sean, before I...
That's it. Everybody have a good night. That's it. Enjoy your night.
Much love and blessings and aloha. Thanks for joining us.
Same to you. Okay.